welcome to Partum the Mess, a podcast about humorous, inspirational, and educational experiences presented by first-time moms trying to navigate parenthood and staying sane doing it. I'm your host, Brittany, and my co-hosts today are Jessica.
Hey.
And Codee.
Hi.
This is the introductory episode where you can get to know us a little bit. So in our episodes going forward, we're going to catch up with you, talk about what's been going on in our week, and then we'll talk about a subject that's either been on our mind or been facing us recently as moms. And then we will conclude with sharing a recipe with you, because I don't know any mom that wants to plan dinner every night for the rest of her life. I should say any parent, because I sure know that my husband is not a fan of making food. So we're going to share a recipe with you that has been helpful to us recently, and then we will share it on our website, and that's where it will be. And for your information, you can find us on Instagram at Partum the Mess, and then at our website, partumthemess.com. There we go. Figure out what that is later. All right. I'll go first. So as I said, my name is Brittany. I have been married for just a little over 5 years. I grew up in Southeast Idaho and went to school there and majored in social work. Then I moved to Utah to continue working in social work, and I met my husband, and we were married, like I said, about 5 years ago. So we have 2 kids, and for the purposes of this podcast, we're going to call them Buddy and Swiss, and they're just over 14 months old. Jessica, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Jessica. My husband, TJ, and I have lived here in Utah for about 6 years now. We've been married for almost 11 years. And we have one child, a son, who's 1 month old, trapped in a 3-month-old body. He's huge, and his name is Jamie. Some of the things that we have experienced that we may be talking about on some of these episodes is, like I said, we've been married for just over 11 years, and for 10 of those years, we tried to have children. So we struggled with infertility due to me having a condition called PCOS, which is very common. Some things that we like to do, play board games, and video games. Were very nerdy.
Cool.
We like nerdy.
I also am the legal guardian for my sister, who is turning 18 next month. So I have had custody of her for about 6 years now. So we might have some input for teenagers as well, even though I am a first-time mom as of just over a month ago.
All right, Codee, do you want to tell us about you?
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name is Codee, and my husband's name is Eden, and I know his sounds like the girl's name and mine sounds like the boy's name, but that's really what it is. And we've been married for 4 years. We got married in 2016, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 years coming up here in May. And I was born and raised in Wyoming and went to school at University of Wyoming, cheered there at a college level, and then I met my husband here in Utah and moved up here. I graduated college with a degree in kinesiology. I know, look it up because I won't try to explain it, but then we had our first child, our first and only. Well, I consider my dog my child too, but my first human child we had about 9-10 months ago, and his name is Emmett, and he is awesome. We think he just does no wrong. He walks on water, but I think most people think their kids, maybe not.
Yeah.
Mine just sleeps all the time, so
hey,
he is perfect.
It's pretty good.
Perfect, yeah. And then something relevant to me, I guess something that makes me kind of unique, is that while I was pregnant, I developed pretty clinical, severe depression anxiety. So we'll go into more of that in some later episodes, but it was a crazy experience for me to go through. And what do we like doing? We're active. We like doing anything active: volleyball, rock climbing, anything else that you can think of. We're just a pretty fun family. My husband's Latin, so I'm sure that will come up as an adjustment for any white person to marry, or Caucasian, I guess, to marry into a Latin family. That's been a fun adjustment. So that's pretty much all about me.
We also have a little Yorkie. She's a 3/4 Yorkie and 1/4 mini Australian Shepherd, and she's crazy, maybe doesn't even do it justice, but she's great. She's
energetic, right?
Energetic is
She's
a good way
lover
of putting
of life.
it. Yes. I just aspire to have her level of energy. Some days. I really don't all the time. But we, my husband and I also like board games. That's one thing that Jessica and I bonded over, I'd say, where our families met, and then we found out we both like games and things like that. So let me tell you guys a little bit about why we're doing this and how this podcast came to be. So let me start with, before I had kids, I felt like I was really outgoing and I did things that I wanted to do. Before I met my husband, especially, I was involved in swing dancing, like ballroom swing dancing, not country swing dancing. It's fine if you like country, whatever. But just there's a difference. So I was on teams and I would go on lots of dates and I was really involved. And then when I got married, my husband and I have pretty different interests. We both like board games and Netflix, but that's pretty much it. And so, interests changed. And then when we had kids, everything changed. I was blessed with the opportunity to be able to stay home after, I don't know how old the kids were, maybe 7 months old when I was able to come home. My husband actually stayed home with the children. He had the opportunity to be a stay-at-home dad for about 3 months. And then I came home and everything was just really different. I didn't feel loneliness was a lot more pronounced than I expected. Even though I had Codee and Jessica really close, we're all kind of in the same boat. There was a lot of, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it changes. The needs that you have before children and the needs you have after children are very different because your interactions with adults are very different.
Right.
And so, I don't know, I think what I needed from friends before I had kids was vastly different than what I needed from friends after kids. And so you kind of have to reassess that and figure out, what is the new relationship I need?
Yeah, totally. I am a pretty introverted person, and before having a son, even just being married, I didn't feel the need really to have a lot of interaction with friends because, well, for one, I've worked full time and I managed a team of 30 people. And so going to work every day and it was a technical support department. So numerous customers all day long, in addition to my staff and coworkers and stuff. So I just had people in my day all the time. And it's been a huge adjustment just being home. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. And with this infant who obviously can't talk to me at all, who does sleep most of the day, I'm finding myself like trying to adapt and become a totally different person because my natural instinct is not to reach out to anyone or do anything. So I love you guys and having you guys so close. And I think this is going to be an awesome experience to be able to get together and share our situations and our experiences with others, because I'm sure there's so many other moms going through them right now.
I wanted to touch on something you just said, and correct me if I misunderstood, but it was interesting. It was like you're noticing not necessarily how you are right now, but some struggles that could be, and you're trying to adapt or almost get ahead of it so that you can maintain some, have some homeostasis or, check in with yourself before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like going through a withdrawal or like cutting something out cold turkey. I can see myself potentially going a little bit crazy if I don't step out of my comfort zone and make plans with people, or I've been out of the house. I think he's 5 weeks old now, and I've been out of the house like 3 or 4 times, and that's just to like the store or church, and even that little bit was enough to like sustain me. And I'm not like going crazy now, but I can definitely see how months and months and months of going how I was previously, where I didn't really make plans or do a lot of stuff, I can see how that could slowly drive me a little bit nuts. As much as I love my son, he's beautiful, he's my world, but you have to have something else. You have to have some interests and human communication and interaction. And I think stuff like this, podcasts and things like that if you're not able to get out, are really helpful as well for that connection.
And on the note of connection, that was going back to like when this idea was formulating, I would find myself turning to the groups I had on social media and not having the feedback that I need, obviously. Like, it's a
Right.
one-way street, right? I mean, people can respond when they have time or whatnot, but you don't have the physical face-to-face, for one, and then two, the connection is, at least to a degree, superficial, right? You can be anything you want online.
When I think most of the time online, and I see a shift a little bit, but most of the time online, people want to show the best version of themselves.
For sure.
Or what they're good at, you know? And I hope that this podcast can be something that people are like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that deals with this. I'm not the only one that experiences pain through this.
Right.
And we can help some people that may be struggling, or we can help some people who are thriving and say, you got it. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Either way, this is for me at least, why I wanted to jump into this and why I'm so excited and passionate about this is because I feel like it's a great opportunity to lift and support myself and other moms and dads and people going through this journey.
Right. We hope that moms aren't the only ones who feel inclined to listen, because little sneak preview, we might have some special guests that will give some insight to just other perspectives. But that is a big draw to me to do this, to help other people. And when I was quitting my job, so I mentioned I did social work. I worked for 6 years in community mental health doing case management, and it was great. It was my dream job. It was what I sought to do. And I considered different things, like maybe going back to school to get my master's, or maybe completely changing careers, but going to get my master's in something else. I feel really drawn to share things with people that I think will help them. And so often I'm sharing things that I find cool, even if, without considering if people want to know, because I think they're beneficial. These facts or these activities are beneficial. And so not being able to be in that capacity, not being able to work and share resources with people felt useless. I just didn't feel, and I had people in my life saying, but you're your children's world. Yeah. I know. And I feel strongly to provide for them, and I'm going to continue to be a fully present mom. But that wasn't what I felt I needed. I needed to be able to help the community at large. And so when I thought of this podcast, I thought how helpful Codee and Jessica's experiences could be, them personally. Due to how they are as people, I think they'll be a positive contribution, as well as their experiences and having such a beautiful spread of ages, with Jamie being barely born here on earth, and that fresh, raw experience that Jessica's having right now, and that Codee has had. Did you say he's 10 months old? Yeah, he's almost 10 months old, with having almost a year of experiences and changes from Jessica's point, and then me with my kids being just over a year, and two of them at once, just a different experience from all of us. And so we hope that whether it be you can identify with one of us almost completely, or a little bit from all of us, we hope that we can be beneficial to you, and that these weekly podcasts will be a benefit to your life. I want to thank you for tuning into our introductory episode today, and invite you to catch the next episode, episode 1. In that episode, we are going to be talking about communication and reading, and we look forward to catching up with you then. Thanks so much.
And Partum the Mess.
We're making memories.